This call is being recorded.
What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You're rocking with Lyles Movie Files. We have so much to talk about, from The Bad Batch, Game of Thrones prequels, departures on Flash. So let's just get right into it. What's up, little brother?
Hey, bro, how are you?
Cooling. All set and ready to podcast.
All right.
Chief, how about you?
All right.
My man. Jay King, what's going on in Miami?
You know, it's sunny, then it's cloudy, then it's sunny, then it's cloudy again, and it rains. A lot of G-strings on people who don't deserve to wear G-strings. Long white tees, gold chain, chokers, basketball shorts, flip-flops, and fights. Let's get it, South Beach.
Let's get it. Okay, so where to begin? All right, The Bad Batch, the latest Star Wars Clone Wars spinoff, conveniently had its premiere episode this Tuesday, May the 4th. I love the marketing for May the 4th be with you. I was able to watch the first two episodes. I can still not discuss the second episode as of yet, because that airs Friday. But we can discuss the first episode. I had some issues with it that had me a little concerned about the long-term future of The Bad Batch. But I looked on social media and everyone was loving it. Everybody was like, oh, it's so great, it's amazing. I'm like, woo! I didn't have that luxurious, amazing, rapturous take on it. I thought it was all right. I really thought that some of the decisions were a little early on in the series. Jace, what did you think of the Bad Batch premiere?
Okay. So, in case y'all haven't watched this show, we are spoiling the show, and I don't mean y'all had it a week. You should have watched it by now.
Not even a week.
And by the time this airs, it'll be a week. So, my main issue was it was kind of the first time we saw the Bad Batch was season 7 of the Clone Wars, and they were this really cool faction of 5 clones, and they had their own unique personalities. And we were like, oh, wow, we really would like to see more of these guys. Like, they're worthy of a spinoff, and we were all signed off on it. And we were super excited when we saw it. But then when we got it, it was like, hey, stuff that probably should happen in the season finale or towards the season finale happened as soon as you started. Like, Crosshair, who always looked like the dodgy dude, he literally betrays him in the first episode. So, like, well, that kind of...
He didn't betray him.
I mean, but I'm sorry, he followed his correct programming, which all the clones had. And we were like, wow, that was kind of early. Like, we're not going to fight that a little bit? Maybe a mid-season finale kind of deal? Like, okay. And then I think my biggest issue...
Well, hold on, because I want to talk about what you just said.
Okay.
To me, making Crosshair the villain was like, this would be like making Wolverine or Batman or name the coolest character on any team and making them the bad guy right away when you're kind of like excited about seeing how that character interacts with everybody. It's like, oh man, this dude's the coolest. I can't wait to see him sniping out whoever they're fighting. And then it was like, well, we're just going to make him the bad guy. Which, I mean, okay, he's a sniper. I guess that could be the case. But wouldn't it be cooler to just have him be like the dude that doesn't get along with anybody and just always has a crappy attitude? Because we don't have that anymore.
Just like, almost like, if you remember like watching Cad Bane in the original Clone Wars, he was like this really cool bounty hunter. And then it's like, oh, well, we already know he's shady as a bounty hunter. But it's like, the Bad Batch had all their unique personalities. And it was just like, off the jump, y'all really, I mean, like, there's already Order 66, so there's already that initial bad guy deal you got to deal with. So it's like, why do you rush the gun to, like, I think your metaphor was actually really apt. It was like, yo, why not have Wolverine hunt down all the X-Men, after the first episode? It's like, that's not the way to, it didn't seem like the way to go. And the only reason I'm a little like, okay, I'll give it a little patience, is because Dave Filoni is the one guiding this show. I think if anybody else, I'd be like, I'm good. And it's like, and I probably talked to you earlier, and I was like, I'm probably going to just wait for this. But because it's him, I'm going to have a little more patience for the show, except probably our next issue.
All right. So, as a staple of anybody who's watched a cartoon show back in the 80s knows, there were all these great properties from G.I. Joe. Actually, G.I. Joe's the only one that didn't have this problem. Masters of the Universe, Transformers, Silverhawks, maybe not even Silverhawks, but you get what I'm saying. There was a prevalent theme. They always had to have Super Friends, not challenges of Super Friends, but just regular standard Super Friends. They had to have the teenage kid sidekick or creature that always got into trouble, that always messed up things because they didn't know any better, because they were a kid. And I don't know if they thought that kids would relate to this character more than the cooler superheroes like Superman. Like, I don't know any kid who was like, you know what? I like Marvin and Wendy way more than I do Superman and Wonder Woman. I never had that conversation with anybody. So the Bad Batch introduces a kid. And I always feel like when you're watching the show, when it started throwing a kid in, that's when we're knocking on the end. Or it's like, okay, we're hoping that a kid will spark things back up. You know, you saw it in Growing Pains, Family Ties, Cosby.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when the next new kid comes in, we've got problems. So Bad Batch introduces a female clone, which is problematic all in itself because there have been literally no female clones. If the Kaminoans, if Palpatine thought there was a benefit to having female clones, he would have made them. He'd have been like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I have female clones? No, he just wanted grunt soldiers. And I don't think anybody on Kamino was like, you know what's going to be fun? And no one's going to notice one female clone. That's a child like Jango Fett. The only one running around like this. So it didn't make sense from a logistical standpoint. And then the character is just doing all that annoying stuff that every kid sidekick does. Oh, let me get in trouble. I'll start a food fight. I'm so funny. And I could just hear my inner 12-year-old going, oh, she's so annoying. And it was having a conversation with my outer 45-year-old, like, gosh, this character blows. Why do we need her? Jace, what did you think of Omega?
Okay. As soon as it was like, oh, this is a new character. Okay, cool. And then it was like, oh, wait, she's a clone. Oh, okay. So she's a defective clone of Jango Fett? Out of how many billions of clones they've already made, they have a random female? That doesn't make sense at all. I'm pretty sure the Kaminoans have this down that they know how to make a clone.
Yeah, it's an M or F.
Yeah, it's 1 or 0. It's it's a binary issue. So there is not a. I mean, it was like they tried to force. I mean, it was like we had. I think like they could have done it's like, yo, she's a female assistant of a Kaminoan. And I don't think anyone would have batted her eye. We would have been like, okay, cool. We got it, cool. We don't understand her purpose. She's a new character. Like, introduce her. We're cool with that. But then say, oh, she's a clone. It's like, we've been here for 7 seasons plus now. We've been through Revenge of the Sith. We've been Attack of the Clones. Like, at least introduce her template. And then say, oh, she was like one of the smartest people in the Republic. And we're trying to, see if we can, make some new clones on her. On the Republic's dime because they're paying for all this, and I'm sure they're okay with this random person in there. We're just going to do that like we did Darth Tyrannus and Jango Fett. There's no new money coming in, and it was just like the food fight and the hey, I know all you guys. You guys are the coolest. It was like, hey, Spike, calm down. The Transformers are cool, but we don't need you right now. Like we really are here for Bad Batch, not you.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't have Bad Batch trading cards for Omega to collect and be like, ooh, you're Hunter. Your stats are 5,000 clone battle droid skills. No, I mean, what is this?
It's like, I mean, the truth is like we are 4 episodes of knowing the Bad Batch, and now you're like, oh my gosh, they're the awesomest person. Like, shouldn't you have wanted to follow Echo, Rex, all the ARC troopers who were just awesome? You know, the 501st Legion who were literally, the spearhead of the war. No, you want me? It was just like, guys, like, I mean, again, as I said, probably the only reason I'm sticking with this is because Dave Filoni has. Anyone else, I'd be like, thank you, good night. I got other things to do on my Friday morning.
Right. Well, there is a show that I am basically on my point of thank you and good night. That is The Flash. They had a new episode last night. I didn't care about watching it. I was watching the red light on my DVR. I was like, yeah, I don't care. This is on the heels of the big announcement on Tuesday, which didn't feel like a big announcement because it seems clear if you've been watching the series so far, or this season, that Carlos Valdez, who plays Cisco, and Tom Cavanaugh, who is Everett Wells, they are exiting as series regulars. Well, it's kind of weird because Cisco and Wells have been in and out this season. And Cisco is basically, yeah, I'll catch you guys later, last season. So what do you think about this, Chief? I know you enjoy watching The Flash. What do you think about these guys leaving?
Well, I think the ship's going down anyways, from what you're saying. And it's funny because The Flash didn't entertain me last year. Same with Supergirl, and I never even started them this year. They weren't even on my list to see. So to hear that Cisco's leaving and Cavalon's leaving, I'm just like, yeah, probably so. I don't think I've heard one glowing review of The Flash this year. And Supergirl, we already knew how that was going to go before the season even started. So, you know what I mean? It was like watching a car accident and just, in slow motion. And you're like, I know what's about to happen. And you just kind of.
The car's not going to get any damage, right?
Ooh, right, yeah. You can't throw Superman woman into a car and the car doesn't dent, right? So, yeah, I think they want to be, get off the show while it's failing still before it finally, you can't, if you leave it before it's canceled, you can't say that your show you was on got canceled.
That's right. That is you can't fire me, I quit.
Right. Whoever's the first to say I want the divorce wins.
Yeah. And that feels like what's happening. Now, they did announce that Jessica Parker Kennedy will be back. She played XS, Barry and Iris's daughter, who got blinked out of existence. She will be returning throughout season 7, which is weird because they're already introducing Barry and Iris's future son, Bart Allen, who's really their grandson. So I guess we're going to have a Allen children reunion. How excited are you for the return of XS, Jace?
For anyone who can't see my eyes roll way, 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 way back in my head, she shouldn't exist. Like, she was literally written out of existence. I know, Thawne was able to get around that issue, and because she's a disciple of Thawne, she gets around that. But it's like, we don't need any more like Alan kids. I know you didn't watch this episode, but it was literally like the CW playbook to a T. We are in season 7. The main character has 10 minutes or less in this show. And the supporting characters, no matter how interesting their storyline is, have so much more of the show. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is painful. Because I watched like that and Supergirl. Like, Melissa Benoist has not been on for like 2 weeks. And I'm laughing at it. Yeah, this is my interview time, taking some meetings, see where this goes. I'm sure if I watched Black Lightning, it would have been the same thing. Crest is like, yeah, I'm really good. We already know it's the last season, but, I'm here ready to work for y'all. Let's give me a series regular. I'm good. And it was just like, this is painful. Like, it's almost like since Arrow was ended, it's like the whole CW verse is literally collapsing in on itself. And it's just like, you can't bring old characters, introduce people you think we're going to care about to make us want to watch these shows. It's like, make a damn storyline that's actually worth like a 22 episode season that's worth watching. And it's like, they cannot do that. It's pathetic.
And what's interesting, the only shows that I find worth watching are Superman and Lois and Stargirl. Stargirl got renewed for season 3 before season 2 comes out. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to Superman and Lois when it returns on May 18th. So there's something to look forward to on the CW. But as far as these tenured shows, I think we need to pull the plug, Jim. You need to call it.
I mean, it's almost like season 4 of all CW superhero shows is like literally the point. It's like, yeah, call it. Like, just go to the next one. Like, Smallville was getting kind of weak, but then it actually rebounded once they fired the original creators. And it's like almost like it seems like the showrunners of these CW shows need to all like, okay, somebody come with a fresh take on this. Stop using the CW formula to make these shows. Like, we got 22 episodes. Look at what made Stargirl good our first season. Look at what is making Superman and Lois good right now. Like, a little realism for our side characters, and then for our superhero, make them super. It's like, I don't get why they F that up so much.
It's not that hard. Jay King, I know I've got some news that is going to excite you even more than seeing people who should not be wearing G-strings in Miami. Warner Brothers is apparently exploring the idea of a sequel to Joaquin Phoenix's The Joker movie. Thoughts? You can see the pain in your face as you're trying to formulate your thoughts. It's hilarious.
I hope you capture that on the when this goes live too. You know, Jeff, my issue with it, man, is this. How does this tie into the larger DC universe? Is a Joker sequel going to incorporate the Batman? Because now that we've got the origin story, I kind of want to see the Joker get more into delve more into his criminal activity and face off against the Batman, or we introduce the Batman at a certain point. I don't want to just see the adventures of the Joker, because this is just a movie about a madman, right? And you need that character play. You need to now root against him. You painted him as a sympathetic character in this first movie. What does the second movie look like, and how does this tie into the larger movie? That's the biggest problem I got with it. You don't see the Marvel universe saying, okay, here's a Wolverine. Let's not even use Wolverine. Here's an Iron Man prequel where instead of Robert Downey Jr., we have, I don't know, Keanu Reeves as Iron Man. You know, they're not doing that. They're being consistent with their storytelling, consistent with their story. So I really don't know where they're going to go with it. Unless they keep it to, okay, this is standalone Joker, ignore this, and we're going to establish the Joker in this new Batman movie, whatever they decide to do. I just don't know where you take it from there. Like, what is a Joker sequel going to look like? And I knew this was coming because they made so much money off of it.
They made too much money.
They made too much money. So we go now. And if this is the case, give us a Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker in a Batman movie. Don't say, okay, now here's Ryan Gosling as the Joker in a Batman movie. Don't do nothing stupid like that. Give us what you gave us to make it consistent. Because we have a Joker is what I'm thinking. This is our Joker. So whatever they do with it. I don't
think that's what's going to happen.
No, I was just going to say, Jeff, whatever they do with it is going to be a mess anyway.
It is. Chief, what's your thoughts on it, man?
I agree with him. I agree totally with King. It doesn't make sense to. They've got several simultaneous different worlds operating at one time. It just doesn't make sense. You're in the DC universe, you're out of the DC universe, but you're in it still. And we're gonna have the Joker along with my man Jared Leto's Joker existing. The regular Joker. They're gonna bring in a Joker. So what? It's too much. You're doing too much. We don't need 4 or 5 Jokers. We don't need it. Put a Joker in. Really, for real. My man Keith what was his name? What was the dude who died?
Keith Ledger.
Keith Ledger. As far as I'm concerned. And they could have taken him from every Batman movie and put him into every new one because he was the best Joker I've seen. But you know, with these different things, they keep doing these standalone. Hell, we've got I bet you we'll get another Lex Luthor. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. Like, keep it consistent. You can't, like, for example, Aquaman 2 and it's somebody else. You know what I mean? Lance Bass has Aquaman. You know, like, come on, dude. We're not, like, it's not gonna, you can't do it. You can't keep switching out. You can't keep changing it. Keep it consistent across the board. Let us enjoy a character and have that character throughout the DC universe. I mean, this is, like, again, this is why DC fails, man. Because they make decisions that don't make sense for the continuation of the franchise and the movies and the tie into things. You know what I mean? Even when we were talking about the Bad Batch, it still had Order 66 in it. It was still, you know what I mean? It wasn't like a different universe. You know what I mean? Same things was going on that were going on. They didn't change the thing. Like, now this Joker movie, with the Joker movie they changed Joker's origin in a sense. You know what I mean? They made Joker basically a mental patient in a sense. Like, life had brought him down, and so he turned to the Joker. And this is me. Right. This is like, you know what I mean? Like, this is me seeing the trailers from it. Because I never had no interest in watching the Joker movie itself. Because it almost reminded me of the
choreography.
Yes. I don't know what's going on. I'm twisted today, but I'm not a good twister. I'm blistered. So, yeah. And Ladies Man, when they were all dancing around, it all kind of reminded me of that. Whenever I saw the Joker kind of just dancing, it reminded me of we'll get the Ladies Man, you know. And that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? Like, I just want him to like, yeah, so like they're changing the universe, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense. So Javon King is 100% right. We got a Joker. Let's keep the Joker. Let's inject these Jokers into the movie, and do from there. We don't need several different movies with several different Jokers with several different people going on. I mean, we've already changed Batman out, and then so if we ever do a Superman or Justice League movie, like, are we going Ben Affleck? Are we going the Twilight guy? Is he gonna
No, he's in his own universe.
Right. Is he gonna have a shiny body and then smolder like The Rock and Jumanji? You know what I mean? So, like, we're doing too much
for that.
Yeah.
There's a gift. I mean, there's a meme right there.
Yeah. So, I was doing some more reading. Ta-Nehisi Coates' version of Superman is not going to be directed by J.J. Abrams, which I guess means we won't have a direct shot-for-shot retelling of Superman by Richard Donner. That's a good thing. And this Superman movie is going to be a standalone film that doesn't connect to anything else either. It's going to be its own Superman corner of the multiverse. Wow. I mean, your reactions, fellas, are priceless. Who wants to go first? Chief? Javon? Who wants at it? The head shaking. Go ahead, JK.
Jeff, I was going to ask you to explain that mess again, because that sounds like a mess. Like, so if you let your kids cook breakfast.
Ta-Nehisi Coates has been hired to write a script for Superman, he is going to focus on a black Superman, but it's not going to be part of the regular multiverse. It's going to be its own separate universe, like Robert Pattinson's Batman.
We can't even be included in nothing, man. We can't get included in nothing. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
So that's where that's going. Yeah. I mean, there's precedence for a Superman who is his own standalone guy, but he's also part of the Justice Society on Earth too. There's also a Superman, President Superman, who's also black. But this one looks like it's just going to be all on its own. Gee, what's your thoughts on this?
I'm thinking garbage. First thing that thought in my head, man. And here's the problem with this, man. Why does it have to be Superman? Like, again, you could create a whole different character that another person from Krypton made it off in a different world came. Like, you could do this. You could do a whole different storyline of it. And you're just going to make Superman. All right, well, I know, because I don't want to sound wrong, but sometimes this new diversity crap goes too far.
I mean, like, when they had the casting call for Superman, hey, do you want to be the black Superman? Good, actually.
There is a black Superman character who is also a survivor of Krypton. His name is Val Zod.
I thought it was Donnell instead of Kal-El. Let's call him Donnell.
Leroy. But, it just doesn't make, like, they just keep, like, some things don't need to change. Yes, there needs to be black characters in movies. And not just black characters. Let me change that. There needs to be characters of different races and genders and things of that nature in movies. But some things should stay the same.
All right. Did you read the Earth 2, I think it was probably New 52 DC comic, where it's like Kal-El was corrupted by the anti-life equation, and the one that Jeff mentioned was like kind of the other survivor, the other male survivor of Krypton.
No, I didn't see that, but I mean, again, can do that. It doesn't. But like, it doesn't have to be a Superman. It's like, he doesn't have to be Superman. You know what I mean? Like,
he's Superman. He wears a totally different outfit. It's blue, silver, and red, and he's a cool character. There's a precedent for it. This is the whole thing with what they do with their movies. It's like, who cares if there's some comic basis for it? Let's just reinvent the wheel. It's already been done again.
But I guess this is my problem with any of these DC movies, like the Joker and all this. Like, the multiverse is such a nerd comic book thing. I mean, it's like even like, maybe like a very scientific geek. I'll say that. I mean, like, I say that derogatory, but I mean, I'm the same way. But it's really complicated for the average person to follow. Like, this is why Marvel was so easy to follow. Like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. could have been this random other universe, but everything they did still kind of, even if they were on the outs with Marvel universe, they still followed. Like, hey, the last season worried about Thanos, and the second to last season worried about Thanos invading Earth. DC just like, hey, we're just gonna have this complicated universe that nobody can follow except diehard DC fans. Like how many Batmans are there? How many Supermans are there? What is hell of a following? It's like, why do y'all keep shooting yourself in the foot instead of just making money?
That's something they didn't figure out when they started this, right, Jace? I think Marvel had a plan from the jump, right? They knew what they were doing with this property. Even so, when we see it today, we see that it's phases. It's phase 4. Here's an introduction. We're setting this up for you. And one thing I've always liked about how they've gone about doing their movies is that, look, you don't have to have read Marvel Comic 1 in order to get totally wrapped up into that universe and to watch these movies. It's actually a treat when you see somebody who's never read a comic, who's never interacted, seen these characters before, get into and wrapped up in the story, and now they want to go read. They want to go read the comics now, right? If you're coming into the DCU anew and all you know is Superman and Batman, everybody knows Superman and Batman, right? You don't care about anything else happening in that universe. You don't care. Wonder Woman, you know, of course. Aquaman is friend, Cyborg friend. You don't care. You don't. People care about the next Ant-Man movie. I mean, come on, man. Come on. We're not making it up. People care about the next Ant-Man. They want to see the new movie with the what's the Asian kid, the Asian brother coming out this fall.
Shang-Chi.
His movie, Shang-Chi. People want to see that, and most people, most casual moviegoers don't know who Shang-Chi is. They didn't know that it was Black Panther. A lot of people didn't know that character existed, but you care, you want to see it because they built and crafted something. Whereas DC is just saying, look, we're desperate. We are just throwing movies out there. Somebody go see this shit, please. Please.
Please.
It's not working.
Devon. And the other problem is they don't finish one story arc first. And that's what I'm saying. So we don't need another Superman. We need to finish the goddamn Superman we have. Like,
that's right.
At least go through here and then finish them up and then come across with another movie, a Superman movie or something like that. You know what I mean? Afterwards or something. You have a Superman. You just did the Shazam movie a couple of years back, and Superman was in it. Like, you could have built so much, even from that. It's like, now we're getting a new Superman? Like, what happened to the old one? The old one was damn good. Like, I wanted to see more from the old one. And now we have a new one. And then,
hey, would you like to see a Superman 2?
I would. Man of Steel 2 would be nice. And, you know, who's to say, if we like this Superman, we say, okay, they make the movie, and the movie's actually good. And then 4 years later, nothing else happens, and then they come out with another Superman. Like, are these you just making standalone movies now?
Hey guys, we've got a brand new giveaway for you. Don't miss the all-new HBO Max original comedy series, That Damn Michael Shea, starring none other than Michael Shea. It's going to be featuring celebrity guests including Amari Hardwick, Cecily Strong, Colin Jost, Billy Porter, Method Man, and so many more. That Damn Michael Shea explores Michael's perspective on everyday situations, including racial profiling, unemployment, falling in love, and so much more. Stream That Damn Michael Shea right now on HBO Max. But that's not all. We've also got 5 signed posters for Michael Shea, along with a $25 gift card that you can use for whatever. Maybe even sharing an HBO Max subscription with someone else. So all you got to do to get this giveaway, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Lyle's Movie Files. Real simple, really easy. Send me an email at lylesmoviefiles@gmail so I can send you the information on how to claim the poster and the $25 gift card. And make sure you check out That Damn Michael Shea right now on HBO Max. Now back to the show.
Speaking of things that maybe people want and don't want, we got our first look at the Game of Thrones prequel series. The internet didn't necessarily go wild for it. I feel like there's a phrase called reading the room. And I'm not sure if anybody at HBO or Warner Brothers cares about room reading whatsoever. They may be in the remedial class, but they're like, yo, check it out. Here's our Game of Thrones prequel. Get excited. And again, as someone who was perfectly fine with the ending of Game of Thrones, except for Bran, because he's the obvious choice to be king, no. I don't know if there's an audience for a Game of Thrones prequel. Am I wrong or right, J. King?
I want to say this. Remember when HBO was and I'm gonna use something from the kids here. Remember when HBO had the content you wanted to watch, like, and I'm not just talking about their original TV shows, HBO movies, HBO Undercover. Remember that? That like gritty undercover series. There was like the hard-hitting news series. HBO sports documentaries. HBO was giving you content you wanted to watch, right? They're not doing that no more, and it seems like they're trying to keep up with Netflix and everybody else, right? I don't think we need a prequel to it. Like they're gonna try to hold on to their most popular franchises. Like we got a Sopranos prequel nobody asked for.
Exactly.
That's coming up. And
I was going to
like,
ask
look,
you about that because you said you might want to watch that. I was like,
I said I might want to watch it, but that Jace, that was 3 years ago, right? 2 years ago at least. Now, more time passes, the less I'm interested. Also, the thing about making a show like that, we're reaching a dangerous point societally, right? Where you can't say anything without offending everyone anymore. You just can't. It's impossible for somebody not to feel some kind of way about what you say. So imagine doing a show set in the late 60s, early 70s about East Jersey mafioso types. There's going to be a lot of people offended by what they see and hear in the show. Not to say I would, but it's going to be such an uproar. One, two, can it live up to The Sopranos? Will it even be any good? But enough about them. Don't nobody want to see a prequel to Dragons and Titties, man. It's like it's been done. There's nothing more you can milk out of this story at this stage. What else can you do? What else can you do? Look, somebody's gonna watch it, of course, but there's new stories to tell. I gotta imagine there's new stories. There's new stories to tell, more stories to tell.
okay, there was actually like the the rebellion after the Mad King, or like the war against the Mad King is the only ground that we would ever care about. If they don't go with like early Ned, we don't go with the early type Targaryens. We don't care because it's gonna be so far removed. We were just like, it's just in the same world. It's like, oh, you guys do magic. There's dragons, but those weren't the big things. Like the things we care about is like, hey, we know these people. You have to have a real connection to those people. But like, do you bring back the old original actor who was young Ned? Do you bring out young Rob? I mean, Rob Duff.
Rob.
What was the name of the king? Joffrey's dad? Robert Baratheon. Like, do we bring out a young Rob Baratheon?
They like Rob back then.
Who cares? Like, it is probably like a 20-year phase that we probably care. We would be intrigued. I don't know. It doesn't have like 10-season leg. It has like maybe 3 seasons, and then it's so boring. Like, there's nothing gonna happen. It's like I really don't.
Sounds like one of those limited series or a movie. Like a 2-hour movie.
I mean, like
what happened.
I can stretch this for like 3 seasons, maybe 4, but there's no way I could care. I mean, it's like, hey, give me at least what's the name? Whatever the author's name. Give me a script to write off. Maybe we can come up with something, but I can't stretch this into like 10 seasons. It's useless.
Yeah, it's a real issue. So, I had a few things that I want to talk about. Let's go for it. All right. So Jay showed me this article from Panama Jackson, the very smart brothers on the route, and he said there's no way the Jodeci could possibly lose a versus battle. There's no one that they could put up against them. You could put up Boyz II Men, but Jodeci's catalog just smokes them. Drew Hill would get obliterated. And I'm like, yeah, that wouldn't work. Silk and Shy just don't have the hits. Maybe if you put in New Edition and let them borrow from all of the members' solo stuff, then you could have a fair contest. And they'd probably be the only ones who could beat them, because New Edition is like, seriously, like Voltron. They come together for the head, and then they still split up and then do damage on their own. So I'm putting it up to you guys in the court. Because I confess, I am a Jodeci head, and I'm like, yep, that sounds about right. And New Edition is the only super team that can beat them. Is there a group that beats Jodeci? Chief, you're shaking your head. Who you got?
I mean, I think Boys and Men Boys and Men had more hits than Jodeci to me.
Yeah, mega hits.
Yeah, Jodeci. Here's the thing about Jodeci. Boys and Men were more universal. Jodeci was like your hood band. You know what I mean? Like white people listen to Boys and Men. Black people listen to Boys and Men. There wasn't no white people listening to the Jodeci Christmas special. You know what I mean? Ooh, yeah. It was not. That's not gonna happen. I'm trying to tell you. So listen.
Coked up KC.
Right.
Sick of Silent Night.
Right. Now I'll give you Jodeci versus Drew Hill. I'll give you Jodeci versus Silk. New Edition would be tough. Because you're talking about, depending on who's listening. Because even like, us, we're old heads. So there's Cool It Now, Mr. Telephone Man. I mean, if they go back to their hits from the beginning, because you think about Jodeci, it's what you got Cry For You, Wherever My Lady.
You got the first half of you got the first side of that first album. You got the first side of the second album, and select hits from the show, the after party, the hotel.
And Diary of a Mad Band,
right? That's the joint. You can just put in half the album. And
I don't know, man. I mean, you're talking about decades and decades of hits from New Edition, though. I don't,
I am 100% saying New Edition wins going away, especially if you start throwing in Bobby Brown, BBD. I mean, BBD's first CD is like.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, if you break them into their group.
Word to the mother. What you got?
If you go on Apple Music and you do the New Edition Essentials versus Jodeci Essentials, I think New Edition takes them. I think Boys II Men takes them. Come on, man. Listen.
Okay.
I think Boys II Men has a lot of ballads, but I think where they falter in that comparison with Jodeci has those slow, I'm going to love you for the rest of my life kind of, let's love you for life deals. But Boys II Men does not have the banging fast songs that you could bump in your car. You're just going straight, I'm loving you on bending knee. Motown Philly, and that's about it.
But see, right there, Jeff. Go ahead, Chief.
No, my fault. I'm just saying I get what he's saying, but I mean, we're still talking song for song. So whether it's a love song or not, it's still a popular song. Like for example, DMX, right? He went against Snoop, and you in your mind you're thinking, no way DMX can go in here and make a showing against Snoop, because you in your mind, and I love DMX when I still do, you know what I mean? R.I.P. DMX. But he had, he went in there, man, and I was listening. I was like, I forgot about these songs. And so, you know what I mean? He was right up there punching. Now, you get to Jodeci and Boys II Men. Jodeci had their hits, but I don't think they crossed over to that. Like Boys II Men's hits was huge everywhere.
Yeah. I will give you that. That they have the wholesome appeal. The problem is Versus is not reaching out to the wholesome mainstream. It's like, listen, it's the same cats who are going to get excited watching Jagged Edge. What are they? Jagged Edge and 112. It's Dre versus Diddy.
You don't think
you have that
for Boys II Men, Jeff? You don't think the Boys II Men crowd would come for their hits?
Not on Versus.
Why not?
I think Donnie Wahlberg would be there, but I don't see a whole rack of people.
Versus ain't a secret no more. You know what I mean? People. I think the Boys II Men has a bigger catalog. Matter of fact, you guys, Javon, go. I'm gonna just take a quick peek at the essentials here.
All right, I'm gonna write two. Go ahead. I'm gonna write my 20 songs. You write your 20 Boys II Men songs, Chief.
I'm gonna give it to you like this. And I love Jodeci, right? We used to have a thing. Remember Jason High School? You probably don't.
Oh, yeah.
And Jeff, feel free to edit this out. Feel free to edit this part out. We used
No,
to, at least I started
I
this.
even know what you're saying. It's a fact. So yes, this is true.
You know what I'm saying. So
It's
if
true.
she didn't listen, if she said Jodeci before Boys to Men, we already knew what time it was. It's like, yeah. If she said Boys to Men over Jodeci, that means I got to go meet your parents. That means I got to go do a bunch of stuff I ain't trying to do.
That means I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. The thing I see, like Chief said, the crossover appeal for Boys to Men, but
Casey and Joe have all those.
They do have their, but see, that's the thing. Are we including that? Are we including Casey and JoJo in it?
Like, because I actually had a debate on it. It's like you have to include their crossover and all the stuff that Devontae Swing produced. That's where
if that criteria.
You can't.
If that's criteria.
Hard as hell to be.
Because I'm gonna tell you something. Then that's not fair to Boys to Men.
No,
it's not fair to anybody. He's
literally the one who taught. I mean, I don't know this at all, but it's like he's the father of Timberland's producing. It's like you cannot
open the studios up to him and say, "Go nuts."
Yeah, it's like, I mean, even like if it was like Timberland was doing the beats, but Devontae's got credit, it's all still going to Devontae. It's like you can't. I don't think like Boyz II Men has no chance. I mean, I literally say it in a like because let's be honest, Tupac's "I Came to Bring the Pain" is literally a Devontae Swing produced track.
It's a Devontae Swing produced track.
It's like you can't beat that. Like,
that's one of the best, and that was one of the best songs of the '90s of all time.
Yeah, and that's where it's like Boyz II Men, their catalog is nice. It's pretty ass crossover.
Dude, but the Jodeci remixes alone,
produced track, like I mean, we count all of their Jodeci's albums, but Give It Up, like the stuff they put on can't beat them.
Jace, the moment you hear "Come and Talk to Me," that's it. And I love Boyz II Men too. The thing is, like Chief said, their crossover appeal is very broad. If we have to go song for song based on that criteria, Jodeci blows them out of the water.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you did it right. You do your top 20 Jodeci versus anybody beside New Edition. It's like because at least New Edition say, hey, I can bring in because Mike Bivens can bring in ABC, he can bring in Boyz II Men.
You don't need that. All you
need that.
I'm just saying, like
you did Nightingale, Bobby Brown. You literally.
I'm gonna do it like this.
They're top 6 guys. It's a competition.
If you were to just go, let's say this. If you were to just do NE going from earliest through, come on, man, any Heartbreak Alone, the solo era, we talking about Ralph Tresvant, we talking about Johnny Gill, we talking about Bobby Brown, we talking about BBD, Lady Du Jour, all that, Rub You the Right Way remix, we talking about all that. We talking about Dope remix, Marley Marl remix, we talking about all that, right? That's tough. That's real tough.
Like, that is
New Edition wins.
Like if that's the one, if y'all want to put that on pay-per-view, I would actually watch that because it's like those. I don't want to see 50 plus years old New Edition looking 20 years younger than cracked out Jodeci. Have y'all seen these dudes recently?
Dude, it makes me sad, but yeah. That's the main reason why we can't do it.
Let's keep the cameras off on that one.
Yeah, we'll just have like the Zoom call when you have a picture of old Jodeci.
Put their old photos up.
Hey, Jodeci's going to call in on this one.
Yeah, deep fakes. I don't want to see them
they
all
can
cracked
call
out,
in.
Man.
We had some video difficulties. Chief, all right, so I put together my list. Did you want to run with your Boyz II Men? We're just going to go back and forth, right?
let's go.
All right. You want to go first?
Motown Philly.
All right. So that's a fast song. Let me see here. Shoot. I'll just go with God of Love.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Motown Philly
All
loves
right.
that.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. I'm going to go with Forever My Lady.
End of the road.
Huh?
End of the road.
End of the road. Stay.
In the still of the night.
Let me see. Which one? All My Life.
Hey lover.
Let's see. Hey Lover. Cry for You.
I'll make love to you. Pause.
My heart belongs to you. Listen. Boys to Men, I am a huge Boys to Men dude, but I'm knocking down every Boys to Men trying to get Joseph.
On bended knee.
All right, let's see. On bended knee. Love You for Life.
Water runs dry.
Love You for Life still gets played at weddings now. That's the problem. Bending knees is like
No.
you can't bring back. So.
All right, listen.
No.
I'll do I'm Still Waiting.
One Sweet Day.
Which one?
One Sweet Day. The duet they did
Lately.
with
Yeah.
Come on. Fire.
Lately.
Please don't go.
If You Think You're Lonely Now.
Ooh ah.
Ooh, Freaking You.
Four Seasons of Loneliness.
Some more.
Song for Mama.
You want some more. You want some
All right,
more.
Song for Mama. What do you have for Song for Mama? Okay.
Tell Me It's Real.
I get that, your boys, man.
That's fine. What is it? 12 to
9 to 1.
And we haven't even gotten to the remixes yet.
Yeah.
Hey, the Jodeci Wu-Tang remix is tougher than everything we do.
Great. I haven't done Get On Up. I haven't done. Did I do Fiendin'? I did do Fiendin'. I didn't do no more.
Nah, you ain't say
Did I
Fiendin'.
do Tell Me It's Real? Did I do Crazy?
Yeah. No, you didn't crazy.
Bring Me Up. Last Night's Letter.
Damn, yeah. That's letter.
That's like letter. That's Casey and JoJo, ain't it?
That counts. That would count.
But it's included.
That would count. Like, the thing is, Jodeci's singles, Casey and JoJo, and they had a good solo career. Boys to Men did not have a good. When they broke up, they had to reform because it was not going to work.
Let's come back together, guys.
Okay, so if you're going Casey and JoJo
alone,
Last Night's Letter, so on and so forth. Okay. Because at the end, I can name about off the top, probably about 18 Boys to Men songs that people listen to.
All right, what was it? The one Wane did with Brandy, like that would be one to bring in.
Broken Hearted.
Yeah,
they have great songs. No one denying it. They have great songs. They just don't win.
I think
here's something we can all agree on. Who are your nominees, fellas, for Dummies of the Week? Jace? Well, why don't you break the tradition and go first?
Got to do something a little different. So, today while we're recording is the finale of Married at First Sight. And I don't know if you guys saw the previews, but I did. And once again, winning it solidly is my friend Paige for my potential dummy of the week for listening to my man Chris, who said he may have feelings for her after, saying he's got a baby on the way 2 minutes after being on the show, and saying he wants to divorce like 5 weeks after that, and then now says at the finale, hey, I might have feelings for her. So, and she's like, I think God brought us together. I think I might give him a chance again. So, actually, I have a nice real estate deal to talk to Paige about. I have some beachfront property in Kansas that I really think she would appreciate, and she might actually think it's a great deal. But if not, she is still my dummy of the week.
Cool. All right. Chief, how about you?
Do a lighthearted dummy of the week. It's not really a dummy. Just if you're the White House professional photographer, how the hell do you end up? You couldn't make everybody just stand or something. Like once you pulled the picture out and you looked at it and you were like, "Damn, the Bidens look like giants."
Like, which would be understandable if you had a vintage camera where you had to send it off to Kodak to get developed. It was like, oh shoot, look at this picture.
So you're looking at the picture and you're like, damn, they look like giants. Can I get you all to stand for a second? Everybody just stand.
Right. Let's run that back.
Yeah, let's just do this again. So the photographer who was just like, you know what? I'm gonna post this any damn way.
That's good enough. I'm with you. That's a good one. My nominees are the cast of Saturday Night Live, because they are working for their career lives right now. Going, I don't know why people are freaking out about Elon Musk hosting the show. Why would people care? This would be great. This is simply we need our paychecks and we need to do what we need to do. But that doesn't excuse you from being the dummies of the week. Jay King, how about you?
That's a great one, Jeff. I was using them as well, but I'm going to stick with Billie Eilish. Her fans, not Billie Eilish herself, but her fans or anyone trying to shame her for this pictorial she did. For all y'all saying that she's sold, it's music, man. Sex sells. Shut up, grow up. This is what it's about. She's not sitting there straddling an air conditioning unit or a washing machine or nothing like that. She just
or a wrecking ball.
Photos. Yeah, or a wrecking ball. You know, and that's the deal. Even with little chicken legs, I didn't mind that because hey, she had to put what was her name? Alaska, Nebraska. She had to put that behind her. So Hannah she did what she had to do. Yeah, Hannah Montana. I don't know what a girl did. She had to put that behind her, right?
That's about she was a new character in Zombieland.
Alaska, Nebraska. She did what she had to do.
I mean, like honestly, like Billie Eilish is all. I mean, she's already known who she is. It's like, and if you paid any attention, like she did, like kind of like, hey, I want to be who I am, and it's just like, y'all just like, why do y'all need to shame her for like, hey, I am a woman. Really? Come on. Seriously?
She was a kid. She's becoming a woman. She's not even, she's 19 or something like that, about to be a 20-year-old. Let her come into her own. She's not out here doing anything salacious or terrible, man. She took a pictorial photo shoot. Relax.
Dude, that would have been racy in 1950.
Right. Yeah. We saw her side. Oh, God. Yeah, people are nuts. What are you going to do?
They are. All right, well, fellas, thank you as always. Because like Jay said, it is finale night on Married at First Sight. So we need to watch this train wreck. Because it should be something amazing. All right. And then I got to finish watching The Circle because I've gotten sucked into it. And yeah, so hopefully we can discuss that next time. But fellas, thank you as always for rolling. Thank you all out there for listening. This episode of Loud Movie Files has been filed.